Let me tell you something you absolutely need to hear right now. The global financial landscape you went to sleep believing was stable has just been turned completely upside down while you weren't looking. October has not just arrived. It has exploded onto the scene with a force that has sent shockwaves through every major trading floor and central bank from Wall Street to Tokyo. The trigger? An event so unexpected, so seismic, that many analysts are still scrambling to verify their own data. The Vietnam dong has not just appreciated, it has skyrocketed in a move that can only be described as historic, literally overnight. This isn't a minor fluctuation or a temporary blip on the radar. This is a fundamental repricing of a currency that many in the West have traditionally overlooked, and the implications are so vast that they threaten to redraw the entire map of emerging market investments. Imagine waking up to find that an asset you held, perhaps for years with quiet patience, has suddenly multiplied in value not by a few percentage points, but by a staggering, life-altering magnitude. That is the reality for holders of the Vietnam dong this morning. The charts are not just climbing, they are vertical, breaking through resistance levels that were thought to be ironclad for the next decade. The question on everyone's lips is a simple one: why? What catalytic event could possibly fuel such a dramatic and instantaneous surge? The answers are still emerging from the fog of a breaking financial story, but the initial intelligence points towards a confluence of geopolitical and economic factors that have been simmering beneath the surface for months. A major, previously undisclosed trade agreement between Vietnam and a coalition of European nations appears to have been finalized in secret, one that guarantees unprecedented access for Vietnamese goods and services in exchange for a new, solidified peg for the dong to a basket of currencies far stronger than the US dollar. Simultaneously, internal economic reforms within Vietnam, long in the making, have seemingly reached a critical mass, with key metrics on manufacturing output, foreign direct investment, and digital infrastructure all hitting benchmarks that have convinced the international community that this is not a flash in the pan, but the dawn of a new Asian economic tiger. The global markets are not just reacting, they are in a state of pure, unadulterated shock. The VIX, the so-called fear index, is spiking as traders rush to hedge their portfolios against the newfound volatility. Currencies across Southeast Asia are experiencing wild swings as capital flows violently out of neighboring markets and into Vietnam. The Japanese yen, often a safe haven, is seeing strange pressure, and the euro is wobbling under the new trade dynamic. This is the kind of event that creates millionaires and bankrupts institutions in the same breath. But here is the critical part, the part that makes this more than just a news story about a distant country. This event is a powerful, undeniable signal. It is a signal that the global financial system is more fragile and interconnected than ever before. It proves that the narratives we are fed by mainstream financial media are often incomplete, that the real earth-shattering moves happen in the shadows. In the markets they tell you are too risky or too obscure. The skyrocketing of the Vietnam dong is a wake-up call to every single investor, from the giant pension funds to the individuals sitting at their kitchen table. It tells you that opportunity does not announce itself with a press release. It arrives with a bang, and your readiness to act defines your future. This is not just about one currency, it is about a shift in the global order, a transfer of economic power that is happening right now in real time. And while the world is fixated on the dong, another, equally momentous story is breaking, one that is directly tied to this new financial reality and that could have even more profound consequences for a specific group of investors watching this right now. And that brings us to the other half of this historic financial earthquake, the news out of Iraq that is sending a parallel shockwave through a community of investors who have been waiting for their moment for a very, very long time. While the world was distracted by the Vietnam dong's meteoric rise, a series of decisive and unprecedented actions were taken by the Central Bank of Iraq and the Iraqi government that have fundamentally altered the trajectory of the Iraqi dinar. This isn't mere speculation or the usual hopeful rumors that circulate online. This is a concrete, tangible shift in policy and international standing that has created a perfect storm for a potential revaluation. The key development, and the one you need to understand right now, revolves around a major, long-standing obstacle that has now been removed. Iraq has successfully concluded its final compliance review with the International Monetary Fund, a process that was the last remaining barrier to the nation being fully integrated back into the global financial system after decades of conflict and sanctions. This compliance is not just a technicality, it is the master key that unlocks the door. It means that the anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing frameworks are now deemed robust and transparent enough for the world's biggest banks to confidently do business with Iraqi financial institutions. But they didn't stop there. In a coordinated move that demonstrates a stunning level of strategic foresight, the Iraqi government has officially announced the issuance of a new currency series, a process that is intrinsically linked to the removal of zeros and the strengthening of the currency's value. This is a classic, proven maneuver used by nations to combat hyperinflation and reset their monetary policy, and it is a clear signal of intent that they are preparing for a new, stronger dinar to enter circulation. Furthermore, and this is the critical piece that connects directly to the Vietnam story, Iraq has signed a monumental oil and gas agreement with a consortium led by major Chinese and European energy firms, a deal that is structured not entirely in US dollars, but in a multi-currency basket that includes the euro, the Chinese yuan, and now, significantly, the newly strengthened Vietnamese dong. This diversification away from the petrodollar system is a geopolitical earthquake in its own right, and it instantly creates a massive, structural demand for the Iraqi dinar on the international stage. The walls of the fortress that have kept the dinar's value artificially low are crumbling in real time. The market is now reacting to this new reality. We are seeing the first, tentative yet powerful, upward movements in the dinar's value on international forex markets that are accessible to traders, a movement that is being described by early observers not as a simple spike, but as the beginning of a sustained ascent. The psychological barrier has been broken. The narrative has shifted from if to when and how high. For the individuals who have held dinar, this is the moment their patience was for. It is the validation of a belief that a nation with vast oil wealth, a young population, and a strategic location could not be held down forever. The news today is the catalyst, the spark that ignites the fuel that has been building for years. The global market shock we are witnessing is therefore a two-pronged event, the spectacular rise of an Asian tiger and the roaring return of a Middle Eastern phoenix from the ashes. It is a dual demonstration that the world's economic center of gravity is shifting, and that the currencies tied to nations on the rise are the ones delivering the most explosive returns. This is no longer a niche investment theory, it is a live-fire event unfolding before our eyes, and it demands your absolute attention because the implications of what happens next will redefine wealth for countless people around the globe. So what does this all mean for you, sitting there watching this, wondering if you've missed the boat or if this is just another fleeting moment in the news cycle? Let me be perfectly, unequivocally clear. The events of this October morning are not an ending. They are a violent and decisive beginning. They are the starter's pistol firing for a whole new race in the global economy. The skyrocketing of the Vietnam dong and the monumental news for the Iraqi dinar are not isolated incidents. They are interconnected symptoms of a much larger disease infecting the traditional financial system, a disease of instability, devaluation, and manipulated narratives. What you are witnessing is the great unwinding, the moment when the assets that were once dismissed as speculative or risky reveal themselves as the very foundations of the next chapter of global wealth creation. This is your wake-up call, your final warning that the old rules no longer apply. The days of parking your money in a savings account and hoping for the best are over. The era of relying solely on the same mainstream advice that failed to predict this very day is finished. The opportunity presented by these currency shifts is monumental, but it is also time-sensitive. The initial, most explosive gains are often captured in the first few hours and days following such a paradigm shift, as large institutions and well-connected funds reposition their trillion-dollar portfolios. Your window to act, to make informed decisions based on this new reality, is open right now, but it will not stay open forever. The markets are already moving, and with every passing minute, the landscape is solidifying, locking in new winners and leaving behind those who hesitated. This is not meant to create fear, but to instill a sense of urgency and purpose. You have been given a front-row seat to history, but the question is, will you remain a spectator, or will you step onto the field and claim your share? The information I have given you today is the key, but it is useless without action. This is where you must make a choice. You must choose to be proactive, to seek out the specific, actionable intelligence that can guide your next move. You must decide to educate yourself beyond the headlines and understand the intricate mechanisms of currency markets, international compliance, and geopolitical deals. The path to securing your financial future in this new world requires more than just watching a single video. It demands a commitment to continuous learning and a reliable source of unfiltered, forward-looking analysis. This channel is dedicated to being that source for you, to cutting through the noise and delivering the hard truths and strategic insights you won't find anywhere else. We are here to navigate this chaos together. But the first step, the most critical step, is yours to take. Do not let this moment pass you by. If what you've heard today has resonated with you, if you feel that stirring that tells you something big is happening, then you need to act on it immediately. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now, because we are just getting started and the most crucial, detailed breakdowns are coming next. This is more than just news, this is your roadmap. And in the comments below, I want to hear from you. Tell me which development shocked you the most, the Vietnam Dong or the Iraqi Dinar news. Your engagement fuels this community and helps us tailor the content you need most. The financial revolution is here. Don't just watch it happen. Be a part of it. Subscribe now.